Hi YouTube, it's Janelle here, and it's tax season time, which I know makes a lot of people excited and then makes other people really, really anxious. But I've been getting a lot of messages about taxes, like how do I file my taxes, and should I pay somebody to do it or do it myself, and what are the best websites to do my taxes? Since everybody's pretty much thinking about taxes right now, I decided to do an income tax series on my channel. I've been pretty much doing my own taxes since I started filing. And the first thing I think everybody needs to know is that it's so important to just take time to understand taxes first. There's so many people out here just going to H&R Block and spending all this money to do taxes just because they're not taking the time to understand how taxes work and, maybe consider doing it themselves. And I speak from experience because I started doing my taxes with TurboTax and I was paying like $100. And that's unnecessary. Not to throw shade at TurboTax or anything because they're great, but it's more, it's better for people who have complicated taxes. If all you have is like a W-2, you can pretty much do your taxes by yourself because that's a pretty simple thing to do. And you can do it online for free or for really cheap. So even though paying taxes, really sucks, it's not an option. It's not something you should try to avoid doing. That's just not a good look. Ask Martha Stewart. It's definitely going to take you a little bit of time now, but it will save you a lot of money in the long run. So how exactly do taxes work in America? Well, when you pay taxes to the IRS, the money goes to local, state, and federal governments so they can budget it out and kind of, provide different services and projects that'll help people. So that could range from like making sure that food and medicine that we buy is safe to making sure that our streets aren't filled with cracks and potholes. Well, the streets in my neighborhood are filled with cracks and potholes, but that's a topic for another day. The tax system is really complicated, but it does have a lot of rules and regulations that actually are put in place to kind of help people use their money in a smarter way. So for example, if you've seen some of my other videos, you know that if you pull out money from your retirement, like your 401k at work, and you use it for anything that's not retirement, then the government is going to punish you and they're going to, charge you a penalty tax fee on top of the regular taxes. So that makes people less likely to pull out their retirement savings before they actually need to retire. They also do things like reward people for donating stuff. Like if you donate a lot of money to charity, then they'll lower your taxes. There's a lot of different types of taxes and that could be confusing. So I'm just going to go over some of the basic ones and the ones that most average people will see, more often than not. So the first one is sales tax, which is added to most things that you buy at the stores. So it goes directly to your state government unless the state that you live in doesn't charge any sales taxes. Well, then lucky you. But it ranges from like 4% in Hawaii to like 7 or 8% in California and New York. And it's not like you have to pay it out your income taxes or anything. It just gets taxed once and that's it. And then there's payroll tax, which includes things that are taken out of your paycheck, like federal income taxes, state income taxes, Social Security taxes, Medicare taxes, city or school district taxes, disability taxes, unemployment taxes, taxes, more taxes. You get the point. But this stuff basically is automatically taken out of your paycheck before you get your paycheck. And then there's income tax, which is, depending on your salary, could be anywhere from 10% to 39.6% of what you earn every year, and that goes directly to the federal government. The taxes usually get taken out slowly throughout the year from your paycheck based on what you put on your W-4 form. So it's really important that you make sure that you fill out the W-4 correctly when you start a new job. And you could change it at any point if your family situation changes or if something at home changes and you need to change it. So definitely make sure there's a resource that I put in the description box where you can read up about how to fill out your W-4 correctly. But then at the end of the year, basically you report your income taxes and tell the government how much you owe. And if they took out too much throughout the year, then they, will give you a refund. But if they took out too little, if you didn't give enough, then you have to owe them taxes. And that's basically why we all file income taxes in the first place. Then there's capital gains tax, which is only charged if you make money on investments that you made throughout the year. So if you bought a stock for like $100 and then you sold it for $150, then the government is going to tax that $50 of profit that you made. And then there's higher taxes on short capital gains because that means that you kept the stock for just like less than a year. You didn't really let it grow over time. And then there's, lower taxes for longer term capital gains, which, is again, another incentive that the government puts in place to try to help people make smarter moves with their money. They want you to put the money in your investment and leave it and let it grow over time so that you can really see the results and the benefits of compounding interest. Then there's property taxes, which are only due if you own a house or other type of properties. And then they basically tax you on the value of your home and the property that it's on. So you'll have, you have to report all the properties that you own. And if you have like a summer home or something like that, rich people status, then, you'd be paying taxes on all that. And you're taxed every year, whether you own your home or property completely or whether you're still paying towards your mortgage. If your name is on that paperwork, Uncle Sam will come knocking on your door to collect his money. You are pretty much probably going to be paying the taxes with your mortgage every month so that you can avoid getting this one giant lump sum of taxes when tax season comes. That's pretty much how most mortgages work. Now that you know all the basics of taxes and how they work and what they are, a couple things you should do up next is make sure that your W-4 is filled out correctly and check with your job to make sure you're taking advantage of all the pre-tax benefits that you possibly can take advantage of. And then one last thing is just be organized. If you made donations or if you went to the dentist or doctor, if you were hunting for a job, if you got W-2s or if you sold a home or made improvements to your home, changed anything in your investments or IRA or anything like that, keep track of all those forms. One nice thing about online brokerages like Betterment and Wealthfront is that they just send you those forms electronically, so it makes that nice and easy for you. Now, I know that taxes are complicated. I'm not going to deny that, but it's just like Monopoly. When you start playing, it's really confusing, and then you learn the rules and then you start to have fun playing. So this is the same way. Just make sure you know the rules and regulations, and then you can kind of make sure you're doing things the right way. That's all I have for you guys in this video. I'm really excited to put this up because I feel like a lot of people have been asking me about taxes. If you liked it, go ahead and put a comment below and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. And as always, you can message me privately at MissBeHelpful@gmail.com. Till next time, peace.